around and found a shipment he could divert to Portland, taking them from a builder in Texas who wasn't quite ready for them anyway. It was after 7 o'clock, and he was hungry. No one messaged him or stopped by for his order. Aaron stood up and looked across the cubicle sea all around him. He missed cigarette breaks more than he cared to admit, and looked longingly at the side door that led to a small concrete patio, the one spot on which the company allowed smoking. He glanced away, then turned back and looked again. Red lights still flashed outside, and the siren, he listened, was still there, muted but wailing. Whatever was going on out there was taking a hell of a long time to sort out. Time for a break and a little stroll around the office. The stroll just might take him by Jill's desk, and he could ask her what happened to the supper plan. He looked at his reflection in the now night-black window. Half of his shirt collar had disappeared under his sweater. Sighing, he fished it out. He always looked slightly rumpled, no matter how much time he spent getting ready. This slight dishevelment aroused a desire in women to reach out and smooth his hair and straighten his collar, just to have an excuse to get closer to him. But he was unaware of this. He nervously made sure his collar tag wasn't sticking up again, took off his ID badge and hung it over his computer. Stupid thing looked like a necklace. Okay, good enough. She wasn't there. Her computer was on and her jacket hung on the back of her chair, but she was gone. A silver-framed photograph of her with a group of friends on a white sandy beach somewhere stood next to her phone. He studied it. Was one a boyfriend? It wasn't obvious if so. Thinking she was in the break room, he headed that way, but found her in the hallway, standing indecisively outside the ladies' room. The janitor had wedged the door partially open with a trash can, and from the sounds echoing off the hard tile surfaces, someone was really losing their lunch in there. Jill saw him and raised her eyebrows a little comically. She wore a red sweater dress and black leather boots that stopped just below her knees. When she smiled, dimples appeared near the corners of her mouth. It's official, he thought. I am smitten. It's Trina. She felt sick at lunch, but didn't want to go home. Some crazy guy attacked her last night outside her apartment. She got away and called the police, but the guy bit her, Jill said. What? You're kidding. Jill shook her head. No, she had to get antibiotics and whatnot. I would have taken the day off, but she hasn't missed a day in something like 4 years and doesn't want to ruin her perfect record. You're Aaron, right? I'm Jill. I just transferred from Cleveland a week ago. Nice to meet you. Shouldn't one of us go in there and make sure she's okay? I'm going. I have a really weak stomach, so I'm trying to wait until she's finished, Praying to the porcelain god? Yes. The vomiting ceased, but a foul odor drifted into the hallway. Jill covered her mouth and nose, preparing to go in, but hadn't taken 2 steps before something slammed into the glass double doors at the main entrance. They turned. A man pressed against the glass and pounded the doors until they shook, shouting something. Abandoning Trina for the moment, they ran down the hallway. Aaron recognized Hugh, the evening security guard. Screaming and banging on the glass, he kept looking back over his shoulder. Aaron wondered why he didn't just run his ID through and come in. Then he noticed his face. One ear was gone, and the flesh from his scalp and part of his cheek was torn away and hanging. Blood poured from his torn throat and covered the front of his shirt. Smears of blood soon streaked the glass. Horrified, Aaron moved to open the door, then stopped. 3 figures, a woman and 2 men, emerged from the swirling mist and darkness. Even in the scanty illumination from the parking lot lights, they were something out of a nightmare. The woman lurched forward on legs that were little more than bloody bones. Her mouth worked as if she were chewing on something, and she clutched a pack of cigarettes in one bloody hand. It's Catherine, he thought with a shock of recognition. One of the men was in better shape, and he reached Hugh first, falling against him, mouth wide and biting deeply into his shoulder. Hugh screamed, a shrill note of desperate agony that faded as he was knocked to the ground and pulled apart. Catherine hooked her fingers into his flesh and peeled the skin and tissue away in thick strips, pushing them eagerly into her mouth. Blood pooled, then ran down the concrete steps, spilling over them in a trickling red cascade. The mist crept in, and darkness swallowed the gruesome sight. Jill was on her knees, staring at the scene outside.